The Man Who Knew Too Much. The genre of this story is satirical fiction, and theme is how arrogance and insensitivity can lead to self-harm. This story is based on the life of fresh recruits or privates who are being trained as soldiers. I am going to give you paragraph-wise explanation of the whole chapter. Paragraph 1 tells us that Private Quelch doesn't look like a soldier. He has a bent and thin body. He wears glasses. Other comrades called him Professor because of his studious looks and perfect knowledge. Paragraph 2. The author talks about their first military lesson. It was about musketry, which means art of using weapons. An elderly sergeant who had a tanned face was teaching them. He himself had been a brave soldier and was wearing medals. Paragraph 3 to 6. During a class, the sergeant gives a rough idea about the speed of a bullet, but the professor interrupts and gives the exact figure to create an impression on everyone. The sergeant readily accepts it and carries on with his lecture. But he was upset at being checked, and in order to take revenge and humiliate Quelch, the sergeant asks several questions from the professor, but the professor answers all his questions perfectly. Paragraph 7. The professor, instead of telling how he had learnt the facts, gave a rude answer saying, "It was all a matter of intelligent reading," which seemed like a taunt that the sergeant had not read properly. This is how Private Quelch unknowingly used to offend his teachers. Paragraph 8. The other men in the group soon realize that he is brainy and soon would get a promotion. Paragraph 9. To achieve this rank, Quelch worked hard by reading the training manuals late nights. In the field, after long tiring marches, Quelch wanted to sing, while others wanted to rest. This action made his comrades feel very angry towards him. He always saluted in the smartest way, and in front of an officer, he always marched smartly. Paragraph 10. He was in the habit of showing off his fellow soldiers about his knowledge. Initially, his fellow soldiers were impressed, but gradually, they started to dislike him. They tried to mock at him, but Quelch was determined to earn the next rank. Paragraph 11. Every time a fellow soldier made a mistake, Quelch would use that opportunity to publicly correct him, and he tried his best to outshine them. He used to talk to others in a condescending way. He was always acting superior towards his comrades by announcing loudly, "Let me show you," and thereby crushing the spirit of the other man. Paragraph 12. Once when a drone of an aircraft was heard in the sky, without even looking upwards, Quelch identified its type, make, and model number. His fellow comrades felt like ignorant villagers in front of him. Paragraph 13 to 15. The turning point in this situation came when Corporal Turnbull came to lecture them about a hand grenade. Corporal Turnbull was a young and strict soldier. The squad used to fear Turnbull's toughness and believed that even if nails were hammered into him, it would not have any effect on him. That much tough was he. Paragraph 16 to 22. The corporal was teaching about a grenade, and that it was divided into a large number of pieces, when Quelch said exactly 44 pieces. The corporal felt humiliated, and then Quelch also commented that Corporal should have begun his lecture on grenades by first informing the class about the characteristics of a hand grenade. Paragraph 23. The corporal was visibly annoyed. His face became red with anger. He asked Quelch to give the lecture in his place, and in spite of feeling sorry, Quelch stood up and spoke brilliantly about a hand grenade. Paragraph 24 to 27. Corporal was very annoyed and finds a way to punish Quelch. The corporal then announced to the squad that
the platoon officer had asked me to nominate one of you for...
And he did not finish the rest of the sentence, sending down an air of suspense among the men. The men were sure that whatever be the announcement, it would go in favor of Quelch.
I have been asked to nominate one of you for permanent cookhouse duties, and I have decided to appoint Private Quelch for the job.
Paragraph 28 to 31. Thereafter, the incident was a huge joke among them for many days. But when the author and his friend Trower were walking towards their quarters, they could view the cookhouse through an open window. Inside, they noticed 3 cooks standing against a wall. There was a low, monotonous voice speaking in the room. Paragraph 32 to 33. It was Private Quelch who was showing off his superior knowledge in front of the cooks.
I protest against the terribly unscientific way of peeling potatoes, which is very unhygienic. I want to stop the wastage of vitamins by this method.
The author and his friend could no more bear his intelligent foolishness and ran away.